Imagine this. One day, without warning, a voice whispers in your ear a terrifying proposition. This life, as you live it now, you will live again. Every joy, every heartbreak, every mistake. Not just once, but again and again for all eternity. There will be nothing new, just the endless loop of your current life on repeat. Would you fall to the ground in despair, cursing the universe? Or would you rise, heart pounding, and say, yes? Again, just like this. This is the haunting challenge at the heart of eternal recurrence, one of Friedrich Nietzsche's most radical and thought-provoking ideas. Is this a cosmological theory? A literal claim about the structure of the universe? Or is it something far more personal, a kind of ethical test, a mirror held up to your life? Today, we're diving into Nietzsche's Eternal Recurrence, where it came from, what it means, and why it might just be one of the most powerful philosophical thought experiments ever conceived. Welcome to The Unfolding Journey, the channel where we dive deep into the big ideas that shape our world and ourselves. From timeless philosophy to existential questions and hidden patterns in human nature, we're here to explore the concepts that make us stop, think, and see differently. If you're curious, thoughtful, and a seeker of wisdom, you're in the right place. Now, let's unfold one of Nietzsche's most enigmatic and transformative concepts. Friedrich Nietzsche introduced the concept of eternal recurrence, also called eternal return, in several of his works, but it takes center stage in the gay science, and thus spoke Zarathustra. The core idea is deceptively simple. What if every moment of your life had to be lived over and over again, infinitely, without change? It's not merely reincarnation, where you return in a different form, or even a general idea of cyclic time. No, this is your exact life, with every detail, repeated endlessly with no escape. Here's how Nietzsche describes it in The Gay Science. What if some day or night a demon were to steal after you into your loneliest loneliness and say to you, "This life as you now live it and have lived it, you will have to live once more and innumerable times more." Would you not throw yourself down and gnash your teeth? Or have you once experienced a tremendous moment when you would have answered, "You are a god, and never have I heard anything more divine"? It's not hard to see why this thought hits so deeply. It confronts us with a question not just of philosophy, but of how we're actually living. The idea of time as a cycle is not unique to Nietzsche. In fact, many ancient cultures held cyclic views of time. The Stoics, for example, believed the universe goes through repeating cycles of destruction and rebirth. Hindu cosmology speaks of endless cycles of creation and dissolution, samsara. But Nietzsche's version is different. He wasn't simply borrowing from ancient cosmology. He was interested in how this idea could be turned inward, as a challenge, a mirror, even a moral filter. That said, Nietzsche also hinted at a literal, scientific version of eternal recurrence. In some of his notes, especially those collected posthumously in The Will to Power, he speculated, if time and space are infinite, and if the matter in the universe is finite, then eventually, every possible configuration of events must repeat. Think of it like cosmic déjà vu, not once, but forever. However, Nietzsche never fully developed this as a scientific doctrine. What he did focus on, especially in his published works, was how the idea could shake a person awake and force them to confront their life with new eyes. So which is it? Is eternal recurrence a cosmological theory or a psychological challenge? Let's explore both. Nietzsche's speculative version of eternal recurrence as a physical law goes something like this. If the universe is deterministic, and there is a finite amount of matter and energy and an infinite amount of time, then every arrangement of particles, every event, must repeat eventually. This is similar to what physicists today might refer to as the Poincare recurrence theorem, the idea that certain systems will, over infinite time, return to a previous state. In this interpretation, Nietzsche isn't just offering a metaphor, he's proposing a terrifying reality. You will live this life again. Not once, but an infinite number of times. Every moment, every mistake, every sneeze and sunrise and silence. But the truth is, Nietzsche was not a scientist. He wasn't particularly interested in proving this theory with data or math. He used the language of science to amplify the psychological effect of the idea, not to establish it as literal truth. So that brings us to the second and arguably more powerful interpretation. This is where Nietzsche's genius truly shines. He didn't need eternal recurrence to be true in a physical sense for it to have impact. He used it as a thought experiment, a way to test the quality of your life and the truth of your values. Ask yourself, if you had to live this exact life over and over again for eternity, would you curse it, or would you embrace it? This question slices through pretenses. If your answer is no, if the thought fills you with dread, then Nietzsche would say, something needs to change. You're not living in accordance with your true values or potential. But if your answer is yes, if you could welcome eternal return with open arms, then you've aligned your life with a kind of radical affirmation. You've said yes to existence in its entirety. It's not about perfection. It's about integrity, about living so authentically, so deliberately, that you'd willingly live it all again. This turns eternal recurrence into a moral filter. It invites us to live in a way that would make repetition not a curse, but a triumph. Nietzsche ties this concept directly to another powerful idea, Amor Fati, or the love of fate. Eternal recurrence demands more than endurance. It asks for affirmation, to not only accept your fate, but to love it. To say, yes, I choose this life, not because it's perfect, but because it is mine, and I embrace it fully. This is what Nietzsche called the highest formula of affirmation. It's not easy. It's not even necessarily desirable for everyone. But it is transformative. It demands that we strip away excuses and confront the reality of our own existence. There's a profound existential weight to eternal recurrence. Unlike a religious afterlife that offers redemption, or a linear view of progress that promises a better future, eternal recurrence forces us to confront the now. This moment, this version of ourselves, it's the ultimate challenge to complacency. If you're waiting for someday to live the life you want, Nietzsche's whisper reminds you, there is no someday. There is only this. And if this is what eternity will look like, what are you doing with it? This turns every choice into a cosmic decision. Every action, no matter how small, gains infinite weight. Nietzsche's idea has left a lasting legacy, not just in philosophy, but across art, literature, and film. Think of the movie Groundhog Day, where the protagonist relives the same day over and over again until he finally changes the way he lives. Or Russian Doll, where death simply resets the timeline. These stories explore the idea that meaning isn't found in escaping repetition, but in changing the way we live within it. Even the philosopher Albert Camus, who dealt with the absurdity of life, took Nietzsche's challenge seriously. In the myth of Sisyphus, Camus imagines Sisyphus smiling as he pushes the boulder up the hill, because despite the repetition, he has made peace with the task. He has embraced his fate. That's the echo of eternal recurrence. So what does it mean for us? The power of eternal recurrence lies in its ethical demand. It asks, are you living with purpose or passively drifting? It asks, can you look at your life and say yes to it, not just once, but forever? It asks, are you owning your existence or waiting for something to rescue you from it? Nietzsche knew the idea was heavy, but he believed that if we could face it honestly, it could become a catalyst. Not for despair, but for transformation. Eternal recurrence is not about destiny. It's about decision. Not what the universe will do, but what you will do now, knowing that every now might be eternal. We may never know whether the eternal return is literally true, but perhaps that's not the point. What matters is the fire it lights under us. Nietzsche said the highest human task is to create value, to shape meaning, to live in a way that can be affirmed again and again. Not to run from suffering or imperfection, but to embrace the whole of life. If you had to live your life again, would you? That's Nietzsche's eternal question, and only you can answer it. Thanks for watching this episode of The Unfolding Journey. If this deep dive into Nietzsche's eternal recurrence sparked something in you, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What does this idea mean to you? Is it empowering? Terrifying? Transformative? If you found value in this exploration, subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and drop a comment with your reflections. Let's keep asking questions that matter and unfolding the journey together. Until next time, live as if you'd say yes to it all again.